Did you guys see the question paper this year, OPSC? So how many questions have come directly from our classroom discussions? Okay, so let's have a look at it, okay? So, in what sense sociology is a science? Explain. Tell me the key parameters, okay? Sociology as science. I think in the first 2 to 3 class we have discussed about it. So tell me, how is sociology, is regarded as part of science? I think in the question paper also it was there, that same question. Both of you wrote, right? Okay. So tell me, look at your notes and tell me, okay? Let's have a revision, huh? Theory formulation. So that is not exactly science. Again, not science. You are missing out the key words. First thing, positivism. First thing is positivism. Okay, structural approach is part of it, which we are not going to discuss here. Evidence-based. Okay, evidence-based. Then, tell me the keywords. You can also write down these points, okay? Huh? Using of some scientific methodology. Again, synonymous. You are not making any sense. Yes, empirical. Empirical, which is nothing but universal application. Example क्या होगा? What is family? What is the definition of family or the structure of family in India? Maybe it will vary in USA, but the very essence or the meaning of family will remain the same throughout the world, isn't it? Yes or no? Understood? So example you can give family. All right. Marriage. It is sacrosanct across the world, despite whatever religion it is, right? So marriage. What else? You can also discuss about it is facts based. Mostly focuses on quantification. Data. Right? What else? Look at your notes and tell me. What is the point of convergence of sociology and science? So initially all the major sociologists, they had the orientation towards what? Scientific approach in sociology. As you can see through the sociologists like who? Who are the sociologists who went for scientific approach? Give me a few names. Huh? First is Emile Durkheim. It won't be sufficient enough for you to write Emile Durkheim, but you have to state which theory or which thesis focused on scientific study. How many theories of Emile Durkheim are there? 4 in your syllabus at least. So what are they? Division of labor, elementary forms of religion, then suicide, and then social facts. So what exactly is social facts? What exactly is social fact? Look at your notes and tell me. Let's do a revision, okay? Direct question. So you cannot, move around here and there. Okay. Write the keywords. How else? First दिन से देखो ना, science रो parameters कौन है? What are the key features of science? Reliability and validity. Do not focus on the not focus on the quantity but quality of your answer. Okay, notes should be minimal. Okay, and do multiple revisions. Only then you will be able to fetch more marks in sociology, at least as far as civil services is concerned. Okay, what else? Look at your notes. Let's do a revision first. Okay. So you can also mention about the earlier sociologists who were more biased or influenced towards science as a discipline. Okay. So then after discussing all these things, you can talk about universal theories or laws, which is nothing but generality. Okay. After discussing all these points, that's not the first point. Okay. Then general or universal law formations. Alright? Alright? Okay. So all these words should be there in your answers. Okay. Lastly, you can also discuss how sociology is, beyond the scientific discipline, how we are also trying to integrate interpretative discipline, right? Which is given by who? Verstehen, I have discussed about this theory, right? Max Weber. Okay, so at last you can discuss about that. Sociology do focuses on both objectivity and subjectivity. Okay, so human perspective is equivalently important. As important is the data, the facts. So write down objectivity. Done. These are the key words that must be there in your answers. Alright, next. Okay. Elaborate the views of Durkheim on elementary forms of religion. 15 marks, direct question. Okay. Now do you guys understand what is the value of, the task that I am giving you? Ebe kordabo jodi exam time re helpful hoba, otherwise you will be all blurred. And at last you will blame me that I didn't teach you. Okay. So tell me, what are the key words that must be there in this answer? It is a 15 marks question. Firstly, what will you do? What should be the structure of the answer? Firstly, you will define religion as given by who? Who gave this thesis? Emile Durkheim. He was American, right? What is the nationality of Emile Durkheim? Yes. French sociologist. Okay, pay attention. Okay, open that notes in your answer sheet or your copy. Then look at your notes and tell me the keywords that should not miss out from your answer. Okay, so you are telling what exactly is that? Integrative force and all these things are what? Social order and integrative force are what? Don't be vague. Tell me exactly what do you mean. Right. So, firstly tell me what was the aim of Durkheim? Why did he go for the study of religion? And which religious tribe, which tribe did he study? Huh? Arunta tribe in? Very good. So write down these keywords, okay? Firstly, you can shortly define what is religion, and the exact definition should be the one given by Emile Durkheim, okay? The next para, you can shortly discuss about the contributions of Emile Durkheim, right? Then you can talk about the study of Arunta tribe across Australia. Also, you can talk about totem. What is totem? So then you will establish what is the significance or importance of totem. So what was that? So then you will establish the functions of religion. So what is the function of religion? Social integration and what? Look at your notes. ପରେ ଲେଖିବ ଆଗେ notes ଦେଖ and what else? Louder? Louder? Yes, very good. Next point should be the clear distinction between sacred and profane. So here you can use your value or the strength of examples. Okay, I have given you that question, right? So give me a few examples of sacred and profane. What is sacred? In India, what do we regard as sacred? Temples are sacred. What else? Let's divide it into different religion. Okay, for Hindu, what is sacred? Sacred symbol? Cows, right? Any religious symbol, Om, anything. Okay, very good. Ganga. Okay, Gita. Any religious textbook is sacred for every religion. Okay, for Hindu it is Gita. So you can give multiple examples like that. Alright. Then what is profane? Something which is mundane, that is related to regular life, right? So examples क्या होगा? क्या? Don't give this kind of strong and contradictory statements. Okay. Okay, fine. So something which is related to regular activities. So you can give one example like you wear shoes to the temple, but you take it out before entering the temple. Okay, so you can give examples where you are clearly marking a difference between both of this. Okay. So for example, you are going to Allahabad or Prayag for visiting religious places, right? So going to the temple may be sacred, but traveling is profane. Okay. So be creative and give this kind of examples. Okay, that will be more appropriate. What else? Social integration, cohesion, all these points you have to establish. Okay. Totem bisare pura description you will give. Okay. So what exactly is totem? It's a symbol, right? Which is something which is related to sacredness. Did I talk about the importance of society over the individual through this? Please look at your notes. Blindly dekho nahi. So through this, he will establish the importance of society is more than the individual. Okay. So you can discuss about all of this. Alright, done? Anything else which is left out from the discussion? Check your notes. Check your notes. Done? Okay. Then, what is hypothesis? Discuss in detail the types of research design. Factual, direct question, we will write down, okay? Basic lekhiba darkar nahi, keywords lekhile bhi habo. Okay. Then, what is observation? Give 4 advantages. This you also, factual, you can write down, okay? Then, discuss in detail the relevance of pattern variables. It a recently a question deithli. Now, do you understand why do I say write down the examples? Only pattern variables is 15 marks. If you do not have enough examples, then how can you write at least 15 marks question? Bujha padla? None of you have given me a good answer till date. So try to write down this question and give it to me. Okay, done. So who has given pattern variables? Very good. Talcott Parsons. He was, what is the nationality? What is the nationality of Talcott Parsons? Very good, American. What is the theory? Where did he talk about pattern variables? What are the theories given by Talcott Parsons? At least which are there in our syllabus? Social action and social system. Okay. Okay. So here you can briefly discuss in the introduction part. First you will give the introduction, right? So here you can define pattern variables, right? And you can discuss briefly from which theory it has come. The next one you can talk something about Talcott Parsons. That what was the significance of him giving this. Okay, so why did he give this theory, social system or pattern variables? What exactly is pattern variables? Don't be dumb, look at your notes. It's all there in your answers. So basically, the task of the society is to allocate social roles to you. So whenever there are conflict between two roles that is being played by you, we face dilemmas. Like you have read in what ethical dilemmas. Okay, so here also, you know, as a for example, you as a student, you as a daughter. So if there is some kind of social function at the time of your marriage, what will you do? Will you play the role of a student or will you play the role of a daughter as a member of the family? You will prioritize which are the important values to you, right? So similarly, tell me how many types of pattern variables are there? What are they? What are the ascriptive versus achievement? Then tell me the give me one example of affective versus affective neutrality. Mother's love is affectivity. In comparison to that, affective neutral will be the role played by doctors. Okay, doctors and judges. That means you have to be value neutral, right? Then what is ascriptive? Ascriptive versus achievement based. Give me one example. Caste is ascriptive, achievement is class. So this is something which is related to traditional society, right? Caste is ascriptive. That means something which is assigned to you at the time of birth itself, right? You cannot change it, though you can change your class, right? So this is merit based. This is one of the pattern variables. Either you have to choose your traditional values versus your modern values, right? Then next one is diffusive versus specificity. Tell me. Tell me the difference between these two.
Mother-child relationship is diffusive.
Okay, then?
And customer-shopkeeper is specific.
Okay, so once you are dealing with the customers or you are there in a market condition or a buyer or a seller relation will be specific. Buyer and seller. Diffusive will be family roles or family values. Okay. Family bond. You are loving your elder sister equally as you are loving your younger ones, right? You cannot really distinguish. If you ask a mother, to whom do you love more, the son or the daughter? They will say equally, right? So there is no, distinction between the kind of relationship they share. Okay. If you are going to the doctor, you will be very much professional. You won't start talking as friends. So friends will be diffusive. Alright, so you can give this friends. So it's a diffuse relation. Specificity will be anything which is professional. Alright, next example. Next example. Third type is affectivity versus affective neutral. Alright, so tell me answer. Mother and child relation, right? Affective neutral. Doctor, judges, okay. Again, that is mostly biased, okay. Then next one. See, why we can give the example of judges here is, there is a clear demarcation between their private and public life, okay. They cannot easily, get along with the societal norms. जितने सारे family gatherings है, they have to be very limited, okay, in order to carry forward the fairness and to avoid any inclination or bias, they go for limited private life, okay. Next one is particularism versus neutralism, universalism. Okay. What is particularism? Louder. Okay. Favoritism. Okay. Give me one example. Nepotism. You can give the example of nepotism. How? That means you are giving favorable opportunities to your known ones. As we say in corporate world, we have references. Like if you carry references, that means your CV carries more weight, right? Professionally. So like that, you are giving particular favor to your known ones. Then universal. Suppose I am a police officer, then the law will be applicable equally to everybody. I cannot have bias towards my own family members. Okay, so what is universal is law. Alright, done. So then next approach should be significance or importance of pattern variables. So what are the significance of pattern variables? Why do we need to study pattern variables? Look at your notes. First thing is for role performance. Okay, to avoid role conflict. All right. Value judgment. So pattern variables are nothing but they are giving you two dimensions or two comparable ethics or values. You will prioritize which is more important to you. All right. Done. 15 marks. Keyword should be there. And please, you can grab more marks through examples only. All right. So try to give as much as examples and be creative. The next one. Okay. The role of family as mode of social control still persists. Okay, that's the question. Then discuss the changing structure of family and marriage in modern time. So basically, it is a 15 marker question. Alright, so how will you divide this two? Is it a continuation? No, it is divided into two parts. Tell me the key words in this question. What are the key words? First is role of family. Next one is social control. Then changing structure of family and marriage. Then next one is modern times. Okay, so you have to first identify what are the keywords. Your answer should be, your approach to answer should be through these words. Alright, so tell me the role of family as social control. So where have we studied about social control in part 1? We'll be covering family and marriages. We haven't come so far, but tell me for now, where have we read about social control? Social facts given by Emile Durkheim. So some factors, for example here, some cultural and social factors which exist beyond the individual do control their actions. Okay, I have given this example that family has a significant role to play when it comes to marriages. How? Don't be vague. Please make sense. Yes, parents decide. So first thing is keywords. Choice of marriage perspective or marriage candidate. Okay, so mostly this is done through which kind of marriage? Arranged marriage. Okay. So what are the criteria of arranged marriage? What are the criteria? How the family controls. Family controls. Acha. Control of families is also studied through social system. As given by who? Who has given the theory of social system? Talcott Parsons. Okay. So basically, how many types of social systems are there? Look at your notes and tell me. There are 4 types of social system, right? If you remember, I did discuss about agile, adaptation, goal oriented, I for integration, L for latency. Okay. So what is the role of a family out of this 4 in context of marriage? So from here, do you understand the importance of your holdover theory? Once you are thorough with your theory part, then only you can integrate these things. No way you will find the integration of Talcott Parsons and social system and role of family through social control over marriage. Okay, so have a thorough holding over your theory part. Then only you will be wise enough to use it. Alright, so basically family has a role to play here to avoid any kind of deviations. So modern time means deviation. Mostly which kind of deviations? Social deviations. Right? What are the social deviations that you see in modern times in the structure of family? First is slum marriage. People are choosing their own partners. Right? Okay. What else? First, let us see what are the deviations, then we will come to this part. Okay. So, tell me what else. People are going for gay marriages. Right? What else? People are also going for cohabitation. What is that? That is live-in. So basically, the entire system or institution of marriage is disintegrating. So society or the family per se puts pressure. You have reached your marriageable age. Please, either you find or we will find for you. So family has a great role to play in case of sustenance of marriage as a social institution. Alright, what else? What else? Divorce. In modern times, family play both the roles. They can be the factor for divorce they can be the factors for integration. When do you think the family plays the role of integration in marriage? Basically, जितने husband wife भीतर dispute होगा, parents do step in to avoid the conflicts. Mostly you will see that in case of arranged marriages, right? And what happens in case of love marriages? In-laws are mostly responsible for creation of problems that leads to divorce. Here you can also integrate both the positive and negative role of family. All right. Don't exactly write down arranged or love marriage. If you write also, that's fine. All right. What else? You can also talk about role conflict here. How? How role conflict is related to family? Mostly in a traditional society, what happens? The family expects the household to be mostly patriarchal, right? The head of the family or the parents will always want the son to have a control over the wife in all the private or domestic decision makings, right? So even if both of them contribute equally to the household, okay, that means even if both are working, they'll always want कि घर में बेटा बैठा रहे, let the wife do all the chores, right? So that is another ground of divorce, and this is a significant role which is played by the family. All right, so think beyond and tell me और क्या होगा? हाँ हाँ. Okay, that is not related to sociology, but you can also talk about that. Adultery, that's the better word. Okay, but here the question is role of family. I have given all these things as social deviation which the family controls. Here, this is the family control. They prevent this kind of marriage. All right, what else? You can also talk about, okay, Acha, there is a theory of endogamy. Do you know about it? What is that? Hmm? When people expect you to marry within the same caste. Okay, so because of the modern times and because of high degree of migration and urbanization, people are leaving the place of their parents and they're shifting to other place. So they acquire new value systems, right? So based on that, they choose their partners, right? So you can also talk about, write down role conflict here. Okay. Intra-religious. Okay. Also write down intra-religious marriages and people are also going for Gotra endogamy. Okay. So recently the Allahabad High Court has given this verdict that there should be a ban upon the Sapinda marriage. Okay. So what is Sapinda marriage? A marriage should not be there within the 3 degree of lineage from the father's end and 5 degree of lineage from the mother's end. Okay. So do you understand lineage? মানে father करो first father करो relative भितर नुए then their relatives. Okay, family tree रे. Okay, so father side रो 3 sides रे lineage रे you cannot marry, and because कौन होचे actually inbreeding रो बहुत genetic problems भी रहोचे.
The Muslims, they marry their own cousins, and that is legal.
Muslims what? In South India also that practice is very much relevant. In South Odisha also it's very much relevant because of the regional proximity. Okay, their reason is economic thing. Okay, so they'll try to accumulate jitna sara wealth hai within the same family. Okay, as if the wealth is not distributed. Again, that is customary. If it is customary, then that is fine. For example, we have not yet implemented UCC, right, which is Uniform Civil Code. So the laws of marriages do vary across region and across religion. Okay, that also you can discuss here. All right. So in tribal society, they have their own customs. Okay. So you can also discuss about patriarchy. So you have seen a lot of celebrity marriages. They are going for different nationality altogether. beyond their caste, beyond their religion, beyond their ethnicity altogether, right? That also you can talk about. Okay. Okay, so changing structure of family, you can discuss all of those. Okay, so previously it used to be what? Joint family, then it became nuclear family, right? Now there is increased case of divorce. So you have single parents. Then you also have single parenthood through adoption. Susmita Sen, I think she didn't marry, but she adopted two daughters, right? So here the number of family is also reducing due to the modern value system, right? And thanks to migration, this also you can write down in migration part. Okay, nuclear family is mostly the result of migration. People are moving out from rural to, which is mostly traditional setup, to what? Modern urban setup. Okay, so the size of the family has been reduced. Then you can also have live-in relations. So no child at all because it's not legal, right? So you can discuss the structure of family like this. In structure, mostly we will discuss about what? Size, that is what? Number. Then you can also talk about location. Here also you can talk about different celebrations. Okay, so mostly जितने सारे marriages होते थे, for example I have given we have discussed about any rural traditional setup, right? If a daughter is getting married in the village, entire village will contribute to the marriage. But what happens in urban setup? It is very much nuclear. Even the entire building. अच्छा एक मतलब फ्लैट में अगर शादी होता है, do you think they are going to call upon all the flatmates? No. Is it possible in the time of inflation? No. Let alone the entire city, right? So that also you can talk about. Okay, social distance. So there can be, apart from this, this is the main base of the structure of the answer. Then you can have your independent creative thinking. Okay. Anything else that comes to your mind within the structure of the family? So mostly you will talk about role conflict here, divorce and traditional family versus nuclear family setup. Okay. And there is also reverse nuclear family is also happening. How? Reverse family trends are also happening. How? Both the parents are working. Hello. Who will take care of the kids? Who will take care of the kids? Grandparents. Okay. Free service. Maid you will be giving them. Will you be charging in the time of inflation? So they are like free service. I'm not saying that. This is a notion of people nowadays. Okay. So grandparents, so those who were once nucleated through the process of migration are now getting reunited with the family to take care of grandchildren. Alright. So there is a reverse trend. Okay. You can give multiple such creative answers. Okay. Acha, write down this question and submit me the answer. Okay. Write down this question. as 20 marks. Okay. Give me different examples beyond the points that we have already discussed in the class. Okay. Done? Acha. Define the concept of ideal types given by Max Weber with suitable examples. This is also 15 marks. So, what is ideal type? Open your notes and tell me. So, firstly, you will give the introduction. So, you will clearly define ideal types. What are the key characteristics of ideal types? Next point is characteristics of ideal types. What are the key characteristics? It's a methodology. Next, look at your notes and tell me the features of ideal types given by Max Weber. Helps in analysis of social reality. What else? It helps in comparative study. That is the most important word. So basically, any ideal type is not the ideal type given by Max Weber. He has given out some critical conditions through which we can measure the social deviations. Okay, so mostly he has discussed the ideal types of what? Bureaucracy. So, Max Weber has given the ideal types of bureaucracy, that is the common prevalent features of bureaucracy across the world. Okay, that doesn't mean that he says this is the right way of measuring the features of bureaucracy. There can be deviations according to the regional variations. Okay, where else? While discussing about the Protestant ethics, there also he has given the ideal types of religion. Which religion? Protestant ethics and capitalism. So he gave the ideal types of both these parameters, that is Protestant ethics and capitalism, and then he tried to establish the link between these two. Okay, apart from that, he also discussed about different type of religion. Okay, so he did study about Hinduism of India. Then look at your notes and tell me. So he kept a broad, outlook. Tell me. Judaism of what is West Asia? Which region is West Asia? Mostly the area which now comprises of Israel and Palestine. Okay, Judaism is nothing but Jews. Okay, then Confucianism of China. Okay, so he will be making these ideal types and he will make a comparison that why did capitalism grow in England or Europe per se and not in different parts of the world. So he had a say that all these religions have different criterias or ideal types which prohibit or inhibit the growth of capitalism. Right? So in India we had flourishing trade, right? But we could not develop a professional capitalist setup. So he will be saying that it is the theory of karma which is inhibiting the growth of capitalism. Okay, so basically India is divided into different castes. So it is disintegrating the society. And for flourishment of capitalism, these are the hindrances or barriers. Alright, what else? So here you will be giving different Ideal types as given by bureaucracy. And lastly, you can discuss the contribution of Max Weber. Okay, so what are the contributions of Max Weber? What are the contributions of Max Weber? पूरा sorry गला किसी मन नहीं. Notes देखिए पढ़े. At least, don't tell me the name of the theory. Here we are discussing about the ideal types. Tell me broadly, if you are talking about ideal types, are you going to discuss about social action here? No. Tell me the overall contribution of Max Weber. See, this thing should be there. This 4% or 5-6% should be there in your mind as best friends. Try to know about them. You cannot afford to not remember about them. This is your optional paper. This should be your strength. The question may seem very easy, but keywords लिखने को problem होगा.
Systematic characterization of a concrete situation.
Okay, so this systematic scrutinization of social reality is nothing but what? Ideal types. So use your words wisely. Then tell me the key contributions of Max Weber. He did integrate micro and macro perspective. How? He gave the subjective analysis of what? Individual action. Do not write directly social action, but use it wisely. Alright, then.
Concerned with the problem of objectivity in social science.
Right. So through ideal types, he maintained a kind of objectivity which is value neutral. That also you can establish or write down here. Okay. So be wise enough to use all of this. Have a clear structure of answer writing and have ample examples. Done? Then a short conclusion. Okay. Never forget a conclusion and introduction part. Then what is concept? How does it relate it to theory? I think we have discussed about it. It is completely factual. Write down. उससे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा. अच्छा. Beyond this, you can also integrate some of the social thinkers part. And for this thing, you need to have a thorough hold of your what? Theory part. That is social thinkers part. Only then you'll be able to integrate. Okay. Then differentiate between questionnaire and interview. We have done this part. Yes, no? Okay. If we have left out something, we can do at the end. Okay, don't worry. So discuss the relationship between gender and social stratification. We'll cover it today. Then how does globalization affect women? Discuss. Again, this is a very GS oriented answer. Okay, so write down this question. How does globalization affect women? Write down for 20 marks. Tell me briefly, how do you think globalization has affected women? So what are the keywords here? Women and globalization. So what is the process of globalization? What is globalization? Huh? Huh? No. Modernization is quite different. When did globalization start in India? Very good. 1991. Through LPG reforms. Sorry, I'll learn now. Economics. Okay. Do one thing. Take all your notes and କିଛି ନାହିଁ ଚୁଲିରେ ଜଳେଇବି କ'ଣ ଦରକାର ସରିଲା economics ସରିଲା. Okay. So India became liberal and became globalized through LPG reforms movement in 1991. So what did it initiate actually? Borderless connectivity. Okay. So before this time, India used to produce within its own territory, right? All the trades were closed down for the outside world. Through the process of globalization, there came a free movement of ideas, people, Ideas means here culture. Okay. So you could see a significant change in the dressing style post 1991. How? Technology and so on. Okay. So there was a booming of computer or digitalization post 1991, right? So what happened through that? Basic significant change कौन हला globalization रे? How was India before 1991? How do you see the social image of India and post that? So you have to make a clear distinction between India and its social life before and after 1991. So mostly this used to be a traditional society, and this became a modern society. Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you have the syllabus with you? Okay, pick one of the topics and tell me through that how did it affect women. Firstly, we have already covered social mobility, right? So do you think post globalization social mobility of women increased? What is social mobility? Change in social position. So before 1991, mostly women were, though they were educated, you will see most of our parents are educated. They might have BA in arts and so on, but they have never gone for workplace, right? Though educated, they never went for professional life. So post 91, there was a significant change and people, mostly women, started joining the workforce. Okay, so then you can see a change in the role allocation. Previously, they used to be the primary caregivers, right? They used to attend to their kids and take care of husband and households. After that, they started what? Gaining economic empowerment and eventually started contributing significantly to decision making in domestic life. So not only they became financially independent, but also they could gain a status in the domestic life in itself. All right. So that also you can talk about. What else? What else? What else? और क्या होगा? Joint workforce. Okay. So it created financial independence. Then 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 gained position or status in domestic life or family. और क्या होगा? और क्या होगा? Same thing, okay. Position or status in family means that only. Then और क्या होगा? There was significant social mobility. For women, right? So how many types of social mobilities are there? Vertical, horizontal. So here it will be which kind of mobility? So if a woman is joining workforce, then what kind of mobility it will be? Horizontal or vertical? Definitely vertical. What else? Tell me, what are the different types? Vertical versus horizontal, then? So which kind of mobility it will be? Intergenerational or intragenerational? How? What is intragenerational mobility and what is intergenerational mobility? I asked you guys to have examples, right? So how many examples did you write? 5. Okay. So you will be getting 5. 5 likhe ho to doesn't mean that you will be getting 5 marks, right? So maybe 3. Out of 5 examples, maybe you will be getting 3. So it was a question of 20 marks this year. So how seriously you are taking your classes, that's up to you. Okay. So tell me, what is the difference between intragenerational and intergenerational mobility? Look at your notes and tell me the key difference between these two.
This is the intergenerational.
What is intergenerational?
Being the first to do a change.
You have to define what is that. I think I have called you out these things.
Intergenerational is change of position of an individual into different strata in his career goals.
In his career goals. That is intra. That means in one individual life where you are moving. So something which is related to vertical only, but you have to write it differently. Okay. Intra-generational. How? Somebody who used to be a housewife, right, started having a gain in the position or strata in the society. So there was a change of position, right? So it will be intra-generational. Also, it will be intergenerational. How? How? Now she is working. Then, if in a family both of them are working, that means both of them are contributing equally for the what? Finance of the child. So don't you think the next generation will have a better position in the structure as compared to the one where only one member is contributing or where both the parents are poor? Okay, so it is giving or contributing to both intragenerational and intergenerational mobility. Okay, what else? What else? Huh? Structural mobility, definitely. Okay. How structural mobility? Can anybody explain? So the introduction of LPG, okay, post 1991, it was a major structural change in the economy. Okay, so it created position in the economy for the women to fill in. पहले जॉब ही नहीं होता था उतना. Okay, so it is a major structural mobility. So people do limit their answer to only social mobility gained by women post globalization. But as my students, you will be writing this in specific. All right. Then what else? और क्या होगा? Change in gender roles. Do you agree? What is gender roles? Rajesh? So what is the difference between gender and sex?
Gender is a social position.
Gender is not a social position. It is socially or culturally constructed.
That is biological.
Sex is mostly biological. That is, your male or female is determined by the biology or the nature of biology. But gender, that is feminism and masculinity, which is attributed to the individual through the societal norms, right? For example, boys should not cry. Blue color is associated with a boy. A boy cannot wear a pink t-shirt. If he is wearing, then mostly we'll regard him as what? Feminine or weak. So mostly we regard femininity, which is something weaker sex, and masculinity, which is mostly what? Stronger physical attribute, which is related to that. Okay, so mostly through the dimensions of globalization, once they started entering into the workforce, They could have a change or shift in the gender roles. What are the gender roles that was applied to them? Primary caregiver roles. Okay, so in this type of question, how can you enhance your marks? So like this, you can write down multiple answers, right? Beyond that, how can you enhance your marks? So the question is, next one is, you can divide the answer into both positive impact and negative impact. All right. In this kind of questions, you can enhance your answer by writing both the approaches, both positive and negative. Tell me one negative impact of globalization on women that you can think of right now. How? More pressure on women.
They are expected to do the household chores.
Very good. So it so happens that if a woman is working in present context also, in the morning she will cook for the breakfast and lunch, prepare the lunch for the elderly parents if present, then go to work, come back 9 to 6 job, then come back, take care of the children and husband and in-laws. So double shift of work. What else? Very good. Then और क्या होगा? If you have taken sociology as your optional, you have to be creative enough. But the first thing is observe your surrounding.
In the workplace, they have to face harassment.
Very good. Okay. So the concept of sexual harassment. Okay, you can write down sexual harassment or you also can talk about harassment as such. Okay, both mental and physical. Okay, harassment, abuse. Okay.
And also the higher positions like CEO, they are
Yes. Okay. So there is a ceiling in a position. Mostly you will see the women are, concentrated mostly in the low paid job. Even if the women were, they entered the workforce, mostly you will see both women could he actually mostly where do you see? Nursing jobs, right? Banking jobs, IT sectors, these are all low paid jobs. Starting salary of IT sector 18,000 in hand. Okay, first salary 18 to 21 at max. Okay, IT, banking, then nursing, okay, call centers, primary caregivers jitne bhi, okay. For example, if you have to take care of the elderlies, set up a new service they have introduced, right? Both the children are going for jobs, who will take care of the elderly? So they are hiring some nurses to take care of the elderly. Same goes for the children, right? So mostly women are concentrated in the low paid jobs or the receptionist job, front desk jobs. Okay, where qualification is very limited. What else? Do you think in India some laws are biased or gender biased?
I can't recall, but yes.
Maternity leave. Okay, so what exactly maternity leave is?
Means if a woman is pregnant, she will take.
Not exactly pregnant.
That means the law is
Okay,
forcing
not
the
exactly pregnant or lactating mother. That means if you have given birth to a child, that means you are getting 6 months of paid leaves. Okay, that means indirectly it says that the primary job of a woman is to take care of the child. Do we find paternity leave in India?
Is there for different reasons?
Now post the discussions, they are going for it, but that is unofficial. Okay.
even if they take, they will enjoy.
So mostly, okay. So there is role conflict after this workplace. Okay. You can also talk about restriction in higher positions. Okay. What else?
For the equal role, they're not paid equally.
No pay parity. There is wage gap. Okay. For the same job, you will have different what? Yes. As we see in the film industries also, right? So that also you can write down. What else? Do write this question. Okay, both positive and negative impact. Write this question for 20 marks. Okay. The next. Done? What is magic? Discuss in detail the social function and dysfunction of religion. I think this question also I have given you. Functions and dysfunction of religion. Okay. Suppose what is magic? This question is 15 marks. Okay. So this, for example, you take 5 marks. Rest, this one is 10 marks. Do you have enough examples? If you don't, then you are doomed. Okay. So in case of functions and dysfunctions, you can talk about who? Which social thinker you can quote here? Emile Durkheim. Okay. Emile Durkheim. So here, clearly you can talk about the elementary forms of religion. So you have to write down the name of the book and then you can talk about different religion. Okay. So here also you can talk about totem as integrative force. So this will be function of religion. Emile Durkheim mostly focuses on the functionality of religion as a social institution. So that you can establish here. Okay, this is one of the cream points. Alright, so this is basically nothing but integration of your social thinkers part. Alright, this will be covering in the part of religion, but you can also integrate that as an additional point. So dysfunction of religion, what are the examples that you can give? Communal rights, communalism. What is communalism? Mostly fight or conflict in the name of religion between two major communities in India, which is Hindu and Islamic. Do not write Muslims. If you are making a comparison between two religions, then state the name of the religion. Okay, then what else? Fundamentalism. So we'll be covering it as part of religion. But what exactly is fundamentalism? Can anybody tell me? Anybody? So mostly with the rise of globalization, there is an increasing trend of modernization. What exactly is modernization? That is, we are adopting the new modern value systems. For example, in India, it used to be a ascriptive type traditional setup where much of the importance was given to caste. Okay, so that's why one of the example is choice of endogamy as a ritualistic practice in the performance of what? Marriage. But now people are adopting modern values and they are going for love marriages, intra-religion, right? So you can also talk about that. With the rise of globalization, there has been a increasing trend of fundamentalism. If you recall the points from modern India, there was something called Acha. What did Arya Samaj do? Suddhi movement. Do you remember Suddhi movement? What is that? Reconversion to Hinduism. Okay, so with the rising trends of modern values, the fundamental elements in the society feel threatened. Okay, and they try to stick to the original text. Okay, for example, can you give me one example? In Islam, people are saying what? Acha, you can write down this also, terrorism. So mostly terrorism is what? Mostly done by ISIs. One example. So what are they doing exactly? They are instigating fear in the society through the use of violence in the name of religion. That globalization is creating, threat or bringing threat to our pristine or original value systems. Kafirs, they say, right? What is kafir? So there was something called jizya. Do you remember what is jizya? What is jizya? The Muslim rulers used to pose the non-Islamic tax to Hindus and so on, right? So they said that we have to protect our motherland from the Kafirs, that is those who are not Islamic. That's why they go for this terrorism act. Okay, that is the reason why they are spreading violence in the world. These are all the wars are fought in the name of religion. So they are essentially creating disintegrative force in the society. Okay, that also you can give examples. Communalism, India re bahut instance achi where communalism has happened. Okay, communal rights, same time re Christians and Muslims mankara Jauthuba procession. Okay, so people will be instigated and they will go for it. You can also give the examples of cow vigilantism, right? That is nothing but mob lynching. Do you know what mob lynching is? Where there is violence and people are murdered and there is no significant murderer. Why? Because the entire mask is involved in that. Kete jonko dabba police station. Okay. So this is also due to instigated religious sentiments. They are spreading fake news. So this is also on the lines of communal hatred. So you can give multiple examples. Alright. So do write this question once more and give it to me. Functions and dysfunctions of religion. Write down. Functions and dysfunctions of religion. Because I do not recall any of you writing a good answer over this. Do not write one word statement or one word or single statement. Okay. Give some context to it. Alright. Otherwise, you are far from getting good marks. The answers that I have viewed, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 will get. I'm being blunt. Okay, next question. Okay, group B. That means 20 marks. Okay. Marriage institution universal in India. You can write down. We have already discussed about this, right? Changing forms of marriage and family in the modern times. So there you can discuss all the same points, right? Explain the critical factors affecting family structure. Again, do you see how the questions are overlapping? And why do you need to have enough examples? Okay, because same question paper is chatta same question. Do you think if you write the same answer, you will be getting 20 marks? Here also same thing. Here also same thing. 20 marks each. So how many points do you need over this? 40 points minimum. So decide how much importance you want to give to your example. Huh? Yes. Why not? But you cannot write, that's why I said you cannot write one word or a single statement. You have to give some context to it. Context means some sociological thinkers part or some kind of integration with the theory part. Or at least sociological terminology should be present in your answer. Otherwise, your answer is very vague. Understood? So from here, do examine how much importance should you give to the answer writing. You will write an answer that will be definitely bad. Then you will read again, write it once more, still better maybe, better than worse. Then maybe 2 or 3 times after you are done and get evaluated, maybe you will be there with a good answer. Alright? So write down these questions. Okay. Explain the critical factors affecting family structure. What do you understand by equality of educational opportunity? Okay, equality of educational opportunity and the role of education as an instrument of social change. Again, this is part of your syllabus, we'll read about it. But for now, as much as you know, tell me, what can we write? Education means social change. Can you integrate the concept of social mobility here? Yes or no? Do you think social mobility is brought down about through education? How? Intragenerational and intergenerational, both vertical and horizontal. Okay, if you can acquire good education and skill set, horizontal how?
shifting from one location.
to another. For example, if you are good with your skills in IT sector, you can move from Bangalore to USA. So you can have ample modification around your lifestyle or value systems. So both horizontal and vertical, both intragenerational and intergenerational. Also, this is something which is also creating what? Ascriptive versus achievement, pattern variables, achievement versus what? Ascriptive. How? If you are born into certain kind of caste, then you can change your social status or position through education. Huh? Yes or no? And also because you are talking about equal opportunity, so you can talk about the socio-economic opportunities that is given by the constitution. So DPSP, you can talk about it. Fundamental rights, you can talk about it. Fundamental duties, you can talk about it. So basically how law and constitution is giving rise to equal opportunities. What else? Affirmative actions like reservations in educational institutions. It is also given by the what? Constitution. So all these factors are contributing towards your social change, which is mostly done through what? Education. Alright, done. So here you will be saying merit based. Do you think when globalization came to India, or the process of globalization started in India, who benefited it the most? All the women? No. Educated and skilled women. Okay, those who could acquire certain kind of basic computer programs or filing or whatever. Okay. So, for taking advantages of any structural change or any technological change, education is very much important. Alright, so that point also you can include. Okay. Next, what is gender? How is it constructed? We will cover it today, okay? So, gender, how is it constructed? Socially and culturally. So, you will be talking about the entire debate of femininity and masculinity. So, do you know, do you understand 20 marks means how many examples that you should cover? Okay, write down a question. Give 20 examples of social stratification across gender. So, in this kind of question, you will be talking about social stratification. How the inequalities in position or the status of women are structured across the generation. Okay. We'll be discussing it, okay. The next one, discuss the notion of alienation as elaborated by Marx. 20 marks. Do you understand the importance of examples now? 20 marks alienation, what can you write? Just the theory will be sufficient. All your competitors will be writing the same things. Alright. So here firstly you will define what is alienation, and you will talk about the contribution of Karl Marx and how did it come up with alienation, what is the contribution of or the significance of alienation, and the 4 types of alienation that we have studied. Along with that, you will be discussing about the examples of each type. Done? Okay. So what is social mobility? Distinguish between intergenerational and intragenerational mobilities, 20 marks. Without enough examples, you will be getting max to max 5 to 6 marks.